Hi everyone, it's Mari for Honeybee Stamps. I'm going to be creating this sweet little A2 size card that you see here on the screen. I'm going to be using the really adorable Sandie and Sis stamp and coordinating die set. This is just a really sweet set that's got so many fun images. There's so many options for creating many different types of cards with this set. I've also used the A2 double stitch frames die to create a card base for my card today. So you can see I have that all cut out there with some nice white cardstock. And I'm also stamping out with the Honeybee Stamps Intense Black ink a bunch of the images from the set. I've stamped some of those on white cardstock, and I've also stamped some on craft. So I decided to stamp out my two little bears on the craft so that the coloring will be really super easy and simple. And here you can just see I have all of the coordinating dies out and ready to go. And I also die cut out that sweet little dress for my bear with some of the paper from the Summer Stems collection. Here now you can see I am going to be just coloring in with my Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils. And this is just a really super easy and fast way to color up your images, just to create a little bit of detail on your project that doesn't actually take much time at all. So you can just see here I'm adding just a little bit of detail here and there to the muzzle of my bear, to the cheeks, to the ears. Now I'm going to take my brown crayon here, and I'm going to just color in sort of like a little bit of detail around the edges of the bear. So there are so many different ways that you can stamp and color in these little sweet little bear images of Sandie and Sis. And definitely just wanted to show you another way, another option for stamping out and coloring in these really sweet images. So love using the craft paper. It does really help color up these images really super fast, because most of the bear obviously is already colored in with that craft color, and then you can just go in and add whatever detail it is that you want to add. So really love this technique. I think it's super simple and super fun, and just a really cute way to color up this sweet image of this adorable bear. And I love that pattern paper there for her little dress. I think it's so cute. And there you can just see how I colored the little bear as well in exactly the same way. I'm just going to take my white gel pen and I'm going to add some little details to the cheeks and the eyes of each of my bears here. And that's just going to create a little bit of a highlight and a little bit more detail in my images here. So I'm just going to finish that up. And when I'm finished that, I think I'm also going to use my glaze pen here. So this is a black glaze pen. What I really love about this is it's going to add a little bit of dimension to some of the areas here. So I wanted to add that to the nose and eyes of each of the bears. And it just dries really dimensional and super shiny. And it just really, I think, adds some nice detail to the different little images here. So I will do that to both of the bears here, finish that up, and I will set that aside to dry before I do anything else with my project here, so that I don't smear that glaze pen. Now I'm going to stamp out my hats and do some paper piecing with the hat stamp from the Sandie and Sis set. So I'm going to use that same pattern paper from the Summer Stems paper pad that I used for the dress for the large bear's hat. So you're just going to see me here stamping this out with some VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink, a nice crisp ink. I'm also going to stamp out the hat on this plaid pattern paper from the Summer Stems paper pad. And I'm also going to stamp out the little bear's hat as well. I'm going to just fussy cut out the hat band, or the band on that hat there. And I will go ahead and fussy cut out just the band section on the larger hat. And I'm going to adhere that onto the other stamped image of the larger hat, so that it's just going to add a little bit of plaid detail to the large hat and just kind of make it look like it's got, you know, a different type of fabric or ribbon around that section of the hat. I'm going to go ahead and use the dies, the coordinating die set for Sandie and Sis, to cut out the hats. And now I'm going to add that hat band section to the larger hat here with my Honeybee Stamps glue tube. Love that glue. And I'm just going to use my Honeybee tweezers to help me place that onto that glue section there. And then that will be all ready to adhere to my large bear. Love it. That's so cute. I love how her hat matches her dress. Super cute. And then you can see how the little bear's hat is going to coordinate with the large bear's hat by adding that plaid paper. I'm going to go back to my card front here. I'm going to take one of my Honeybee Stamps blending brushes and some Distress Oxide Salvage Patina ink. And this is one of the stencil sets from Honeybee. This one is the Outdoor Scene Builder Cloud Stencil. And the Outdoor Scene Builder is a set of amazing stencils. If you don't have this yet in your stash, make sure you check it out, because it is one of those standard must-have stencil sets that I go to often. And it's just really fun to create some clouds in the background in the way that you just saw me do that. And I'm going to blend a little bit of the Salvage Patina underneath the cloud section there just for some sky. And this is just going to create a really nice foundation for my sweet little bears. I'm also using a little bit of Shabby Shutters green ink. This is another Distress Oxide ink, and I'm just going to blend that on with another brush here. And that's just going to create a little bit of an impression of a grassy area. I'm taking a really fine black gel pen, and I'm just adding some faux stitching to the large bear's dress. And I'm just going to add that around the outer edge of the dress just to make it look a little bit more detailed and add that little bit of extra pizzazz to her dress in that way. Just super simple and easy thing to do. And now I'm just going to go ahead and add my two sweet bears onto my card front here with some foam adhesive. I want the little bear, the smaller bear, to be in front of the larger bear. So I'm going to use some thinner foam adhesive to adhere the large bear to the card front, just moving her in behind the small bear there. And now I've colored and die cut out the little pot stamp image and some of the florals. You can just see that I made a little cut in the pot and slipped in some of those florals. And the really brilliant thing about the dies for each of the bears is it cuts out the arms of the bears separate from the body so that you can actually stick in some things so that they're holding some items. And there's so many fun parts to that stamp set. You could have them holding a little shovel or a rake. There's tons of little images there that you could use. Now I'm also going to be using this amazing stamp set here from Honeybee. This is the Inside Birthday stamp set, which has a coordinating die set as well. Love this set. It's got so many fun sentiments that are really awesome for all kinds of birthday cards that you might want to make. I wanted to use this really gorgeous font Happy Birthday stamp for my sentiment for the front of my card. So you're just going to see me putting my card front back into my mini Misty. I'm going to use the grid lines that are etched on the front of the Misty window there, or on the Misty window, to help me line this up. And then I'm just going to ink it up and just make sure that I have that straight on there straight before I go ahead and commit to stamping that down onto my card front. I did use some VersaFine Nocturne ink for stamping out that sentiment, and now I'm just going to put a little bit of clear embossing powder over top and melt that with my embossing gun, my heat tool. I am going to adhere my card front onto my card base with this 1/2 inch foam tape. Actually, no, this is 3/4 inch foam tape, and this is in the Honeybee shop. I will be sure to link up to that in the description box below with all of the other items that I've used here today. So I've got that all adhered down to my A2 size white card base. And now I'm just going to add some detail with some gold stickles. And this is just for a little bit of sparkle and shine to my card. And that's going to finish off this sweet little birthday card. I really love how this turned out. I hope you did too. And I just want to thank you so much for stopping by and watching today. And make sure you check the links in the description box below to all of the products I used and the Honeybee shop. Have an amazing day, friends, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.